Edmondson Pavilion on the University of Washington campus. It's the site of this afternoon's Pacific 10 Conference matchup between the Oregon State University Beavers and the University of Washington Huskies. Good afternoon, I'm Keith Shipman. Pleased you could join us for today's coverage here on Prime Sports Northwest. We're joined as usual by David Harshman. And today is a matchup between a couple of teams who felt embarrassed by their performances on Thursday night. Oregon State embarrassed by Washington State, and Washington, quite frankly, embarrassed by its own efforts against Oregon.
Really, Oregon State's given up, what'd you say, 190-some points in the last two ball games.
192.
I think it's going to be completely opposite today because you're going to have two teams that are going head-to-head to try to prove something on both ends of the floor.
And Bob Bender wants to make sure his defense comes to play. They really weren't active against Oregon on Thursday night. Now, let's look at Oregon State, a team depleted by injury this year. They're made up, quite frankly, of walk-ons and junior college transfers to this point. We'll start with their more consistent players, Brent Berry and Stephen Brown, a couple of guys who have gotten it done for Jimmy Anderson's club this year.
Well, Brent Berry, probably their most talented overall player because he can score and he can create things. He's really a small forward, off-guard type of a person. MVP in the Far West Classic. Can shoot the ball away very well to three-point range, shoots very well from the free throw line, shoots an underhanded like his father Rick. On the other hand, when you got Stephen Brown, left-hander, which can cause some problems if you're not used to checking the left-handed player, but number 5 in the league in assists at 5.5 a game, a very good basketball player.
Washington forced to make some lineup changes today. Bob Bender had an early wake-up call for his team on Friday, and Amir Rashad was late, so he won't start, but we'll highlight him today, along with Michael McLean, who has played very consistently for Washington during its 2 wins in Pac-10.
Yeah, he really did. Michael McLean the last 2 weeks had played very well, but the other night, Kenya Wilkins, a pure freshman from Oregon, made him look somewhat bad, so I think Michael needs to step it up defensively today, but also Michael on the other end, very good at getting the ball to people when they have to have it, but the ability to shoot the three-point shot. On the other hand, Amir Rashad, one of the most consistent, if not the most consistent Husky throughout the year, leading scorer, leading rebounder, although the other night he only had 2 rebounds against Oregon, so he needs to step that up tonight.
Bob Bender juggling that lineup a bit. We'll see Andy Wood starting alongside his brother Maurice. First time these two have started with one another since high school. Now, what does Oregon State have to do to win today's game, David?
Well, first of all, they need to get off to a quick start, and I think a couple of ways. They need to do it on the defensive end by being aggressive, but being smart on the offensive end. They've got to take the good high percentage shot and use the clock, use a full 35 seconds. Secondly, they need to get some consistent inside scoring. That may be difficult today because they really don't have anybody they can go to inside, so again, they need to spread the floor, but look for easy shots, maybe some backdoor cuts. On the other hand, Washington needs to come out and establish himself. Mo Wood's done a great job. I think he's got 6 double-doubles in a row now. The other night he had 14 rebounds. He needs to have help inside. And secondly, down the stretch, the Huskies need to find a way to win, whether it's shooting the ball from the free throw line consistently or whether it's just getting the ball to people who can score for you.
It's a matchup of 2 teams very hungry for a victory. Oregon State and Washington at Heck Edmondson Pavilion here in Seattle, and we're back with the opening lineups and tonight's tip-off following this timeout on Prime Sports Northwest. The Huskies and the Oregon State Beavers at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle this afternoon. Both clubs looking for a victory after disappointing performances on Thursday night. Should have seen who was in the building a little earlier today, David.
Yeah.
Interesting to see.
I was ready to take him one-on-one.
This is Steve Entman from the Baltimore Colts, and the good news is that he's up and around and moving. He stated his intentions to play for the Colts this fall after having reconstructive knee surgery. David Hoffman, there he is. Remember him?
Why do they always look so bigger after they leave school?
Pretty good looking linebacker for the Huskies once upon a time. There's James Clifford. He's bound for spring training with the Mariners this year. Had a good season in Bellingham, and he was humored a bit by that.
I can remember watching Steve Entman play a little high school basketball, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't on quickness.
Yeah, he played for Cheney High over in Eastern Washington. And we're set for today's starting lineups. And let's go to the voice of the doghouse, Lou Gellerman, to find out who will be starting for the Beavers and the Huskies today.
Hello, dog fans. Welcome to the doghouse for this basketball game between the Oregon State University Beavers and the University of Washington Huskies. This is your doghouse announcer, Lou Gellerman. Let's meet the players. First for the visiting Beavers, as announced by their head coach, Jim Anderson. At the one forward, he's 6'6", a junior from Danville, California, number 31, Brent Berry. At center for the Beavers, he's 6'5", a senior from Troutdale, Oregon, number 50, Tony Rockland. In a three-guard offense at the first guard position, he's 5'9", a freshman from Chicago, number 20, Jelani Boleen. At another guard, he's 6 feet tall, a junior from Ventura, California, number 21, Stefan Brown. At the third guard position, he's 5'11", a freshman from Placentia, California, number 30, David Drakeford. The head coach for the Oregon State University Beavers, Jim Anderson. The assistant coaches, Andy McCloskey, Rich Wold, and Larry Harris. And now, the starting lineup of the University of Washington Huskies as announced by their head coach, Bob Bender. Starting at one forward, he's 6'3", a freshman from Portageville, Missouri, number 23, Jamie Booker. At the other forward position, he's 6'4", a senior from Richmond, California, number 31, Andy Woods. At center for the Dogs, he's 6'10", a senior, and from Richmond, California, number 24, Mo Woods. At one guard, he's 6'1", a senior from Milpitas, California, number 4, Jason Tyrus. At the other guard, he's 5'11", a sophomore from Springfield, Missouri, number 10, Michael McLean. The head coach for the Huskies, Bob Bender. Assistant coaches, Ray Giacoletti, Richie McKay, and Eric Hughes.
And as we mentioned at the outset of today's game, this will be the first time since they were in high school that brothers Andy Woods and Maurice Woods will start with one another. Let's have a look at some team numbers in tonight's game. Oregon State badly out-rebounded by Washington State on Thursday night, and the Huskies allowed 53 second-half points and just 9 offensive rebounds in their game against Oregon Thursday night.
Oregon State has been out-rebounded in double figures 12 of their 20 games this year, so obviously, you know, the Huskies hope to, like we said, establish inside.
This is the second oldest series in Pac-10 history. The Huskies lead it, but Oregon State has won 11 of the past 13 meetings and 6 of the past 7. And we're set to get underway. Maurice Woods will jump for the Huskies and Brett Berry for the Oregon State Beavers. And the Huskies will start. McLean being checked by Jelani Boleen. Here's Booker making the start tonight. Lost his starting spot after coming down with a stomach flu in the Arizona trip. Maurice Woods in the lane. And Oregon State clears the rebound. It's Boleen. 3 on the way from Stephen Brown is offline, and we're still looking for the game's first points. Andy Woods has him in the lane for Washington.
Well, so much for taking their time off the clock for the Beavers in that first shot.
This is Tony Rockland. Now Boleen. Being checked by Michael McLean.
Both teams coming out man-to-man. Both teams playing a 5-man motion game.
Should mention Jerron Brown not playing for the Beavers today. He has a bruised shin, played Thursday night, but sparingly. Tyrus gives off to Booker. Nice feed to Andy Woods.
Nice recognition by Jamie Booker because he saw the defense coming on him, kicked the ball to the open man for the lane.
And already we see a different Husky basketball team tonight than from the one we saw Thursday. Drakeford, Berry on the wing. Woods knocked it away, and this is Husky basketball where they're hustling after loose balls and playing better defense.
As you see, defense knocked loose. Tyrus didn't give up there, knocked the ball loose, Here's the dish right here to Booker. Now watch Booker right here, noting the defense, dishes the ball off to Andy Woods for the easy one. I want to say one thing about Brent Berry. Very, very gifted with the basketball, but maybe sometimes tries to make the easy play hard, if you know what I mean.
Tries to make it look more spectacular than it really could be.
Right, but he's very good with the ball and a very good passer.
He's been forced to play the post at time this year, as he is right now.
He's really
Drakeford missed, and it'll be Oregon State's basketball.
Yeah, he's really what I call a point forward. I mean, he can play point guard, he can play small forward, he can play off guard, multi-dimensional.
Fresh 35 for the Beavers from their own baseline. Stephen Brown got fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Little laziness by Jamie Booker that time. Stephon Brown, little more experienced, a little stronger there. Left-handed, I think Jamie forgot he's left-handed.
Booker draws the foul, his first and the first team foul against Washington in the game. Oregon State will go to the line where it has been miserable of late. They're shooting just 51% from the line in their last 3 games.
I think they were 14 for 28 against the Cougars the other night.
Sure were. So the Huskies' lead remains 2. Here's Woods, top of the circle, checked by Berry. Tyrus, who had 20 against Oregon Thursday night. Andy Woods, jumper on the way, badly misses. Stephen Brown with a rebound for Oregon State.
Stephen Brown, 6 foot tall, but 211 pounds.
Should mention
like a linebacker.
Oregon State's leading rebounder on the bench with that injury. He is Jerron Brown.
And
Boline fires and misses.
And their leading scorer in Kareem Anderson. So they're missing two integral parts of their offense.
Though Anderson is available to play today, he's been nursing a sore back muscle. Washington looking to extend upon its 2-point lead. Just underway, Keith Chipman and Dave Harshman at Heck Edmondson Pavilion.
The Beavers not really coming out and pressuring, but just trying to play containment on the ball and play a little soft in the middle and help out.
Playing with 5 on the shot clock, with 3, and he had the shot swatted away. Here comes Oregon State. Drakeford gives off to Berry, and we're tied.
Nice job on the break that time by the Beavers, both Drakeford and Berry, but Brent Berry at 6'6", their leading shot blocker. I think that was his 19th of the season.
Some full court pressure from Oregon State. Here's Woods. Now the Huskies will reset with Jamie Booker at the point. Washington looking a bit confused right now.
Well, now the Beavers back in the zone, and the Huskies, see, this is what happens sometimes. Andy Woods hasn't played a lot this year, so maybe they're a little confused as to what they want to do offensively.
McLean fired and missed, but the Huskies will get a second chance.
Nice job. Look at Berry. Long arms. Great basketball build. Knocks the ball loose from behind. Here's Drakeford. I thought maybe he would charge her, but avoids the charge, dumps the ball over, and here's Berry. Nice soft off the glass.
Woods in the middle, and now Tyrus will pump a 3. Misses, and it'll be Oregon State's basketball.
Right now, the Beavers are playing very, very intelligent on the defensive end, kind of packing everything inside and daring Washington to shoot the ball from the outside.
Beavers 2 for 6 from the floor. The Huskies 2 for 7. Berry top of the circle. Woods stepped in front of Rockland. That's the second Oregon State turnover. Ahead to Booker, off the glass, and Washington is back in front.
Huskies doing a good job of looking up the floor. Beavers, conversely, doing a poor job in transition defense.
Berry cross court to Drakeford. Here's Boline. Stephen Brown back to Berry. Got fouled.
No shot.
The foul's going to go on the Huskies' Jamie Booker. That's his second. There's a timeout on the floor with 15:26 to play in the first half, and Washington has a 2-point advantage over Oregon State. Washington in front of Oregon State by 2 points early going here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion. And the Beavers are a team that is very youthful. Injuries have depleted them to a degree this year. And look at the point production they've received from their junior class.
Yeah, juniors and freshmen. And, you know, I know it's been a real tough year for Jimmy Anderson. There he is, as we see him right there. Great guy, been around for a long time. 28 years as an assistant coach. That'll be bronze just for that.
He's a guy who recruited a lot of the great ones to Oregon State. A.C. Green, Gary Payton, Sitton, Radford, Bloom. Remember those names? This team doesn't look anything like those teams. Here's Brett Berry from the top of the circle for 2 points. And he has 4 tonight. We're tied once again. Now, Scott Didrikson has checked into the lineup now. Amir Rashad still has not seen action tonight. He was late for the Huskies' 6 a.m. practice Friday morning. Didrikson fires a 3.
Great rotation in his shot. And the other night he had some good looks at the basket. The ball just didn't go in. I mean, they were right there.
He's been cold his last 2 games. Just 1 of 8 from the field against USC and Oregon.
Still shooting 41% from 3-point range.
And look who answers the call. There's Berry. Berry has 6 of Oregon State's 8 points thus far.
And he's come out and tried to establish himself. I can remember last year up here he struggled, threw the ball away quite often.
Booker, Huskies with pretty good ball movement now. Woods back to Tyrus. Now Didrikson for another 3. Got it.
Excellent ball movement by the Huskies the last 2 times the floor to find the man who can nail the ball in the hole.
Didrikson was 5 of 6 from 3-point land against UCLA a couple of weeks ago. And a career high 17 against the Bruins. That's Drakeford. He misses the 3. Huskies clear the rebound. Looking to extend their 4-point lead. Berry blocked the shot. You know, Brett Berry also is 9th in the conference in blocked shots. He has 18 blocks this year.
Can do a lot of things here, but here again they're running with their back to the ball, the Beavers, and Berry's going to try to make the block from behind and gets called for the foul. Just going to say one of the problems is the Beavers as a whole. You see Cream Anderson come into the game, are not doing a good job in defensive transition. That time Berry was the only one that was really back.
Cream Anderson averaging 15.4 points per game. He's the leading scorer for Oregon State. Andy Woods misses the front end, and
that was only his 8th attempt from the line this year.
And he's normally a 71% free throw shooter. As you saw, this is his first start since January of 1992, 2 years ago. And now Amir Rashad checks in for the Huskies. He'll take the place of Andy Woods.
And Cream Anderson, not very tall, but 6'4", but 220 pounds.
Stephen Brown in the middle, and he got the 2-point bucket.
Cannot let him penetrate into the middle of the defense the way they are right now, the Huskies.
Tyrus, now Booker. Didrikson all alone, weak side, but he stepped on the boundary before he fired the shot. That'll be a turnover. First turnover of the day for the Huskies. Our officials today, the referee is Rich Ballesteros, Ron Richardson, and George Arredondo are our umpires. Anderson driving on Rashad, bounced it off his foot, now Berry. He'll take the 3. He's not afraid to shoot.
No, he's never been bashful.
Rashad cleared the rebound, and Tyrus will bring it up for the Huskies. Maurice Woods with the jump hook. Anderson has the board for the
Maurice
Beavers.
getting a good look, maybe rushing the shot a little. He just needs to take his time. He's so much bigger than anybody else on the floor. He can score.
Have a foul down low, an illegal pick, I believe is what was called, against Oregon State.
On 22. Oh, excuse me, number 20.
It was called on Jelani Boline. That's his first. That's the second team foul against Jimmy Anderson's Oregon State Beavers. Didrikson. They work it down low to Woods again. He gets the 2. Settled in that time nicely and got the jumper.
Well, what they did is they started the ball from one to the left and swung the ball back to the point and then dumped it down inside. And Mo did a much better job of driving the defense back. And of course, Rockland at 6'5" is no match to try to check him inside.
Brent Berry away from the basket, being checked by Didrikson now. Boline and Anderson could not handle the pass. Third Oregon State turnover.
Here's a ball in deep. Now see, he's catching the ball at about 6 feet right there. And that time he turned and got a good look and took the ball strong to the basket, rather than before he never got himself turned completely around. Now we've got another one of the Browns. We've got David Brown.
David Brown, no relation to Stephen Brown. Jerron Brown not playing today. Here's Booker. In and out. Anderson had it go off his fingertips, and it'll be Washington's basketball when we come back to Heck Edmondson Pavilion. 11:45 to play, first half. The Huskies have opened up a 5-point lead over Oregon State. Huskies with a 5-point lead over Oregon State. First half of today's Pac-10 matchup here on Prime Sports Northwest. We're the place to be for live Seattle Supersonics basketball. Tomorrow, the Sonics are in Indiana to take on the Pacers. We'll have it for you at 12:30 here on Prime Sports Northwest.
Interesting to note, just kind of running stats right now. Huskies 6 for 13, Beavers 5 for 11. Both teams with 7 rebounds. Scott Dietrichson 2 for 2 for three-point range, which gives the Huskies 2 for 4. The Beavers 0 for 4 for three-point range.
Booker in the lane trying to go up off the inbounds pass, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
I think one thing from a coaching standpoint, when you look at trying to attack people inside, that doesn't mean that you've got to try to score every time, but you need to try to get the ball inside, as you see right there.
Another foul on Oregon State. The last one was on Anderson. It was his first.
Yeah, Jimmy Anderson said, take a charge, but somebody just reached out and grabbed Mo Wood's jersey that time.
That was on David Brown, his first. 4 team fouls now against Oregon State. Barry knocked it away, and it eventually went off the fingertips of
and not
Scott
a smart
Didrikson.
play. You don't bounce the ball into a guy who's 6'10". Throw the ball up above everybody else. Hopefully he'll go up and get it.
So Oregon State trying to whittle away at that 5-point Washington lead. Here's Anderson on the wing, checked by Amir Rashad. And a foul out front. It's going to be on Amir Rashad. That'll be his first and the third team foul against the Huskies.
Yeah. That time Amir reached and had his hands on him, got called.
It'll be Oregon State's basketball now at the baseline. 11.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Huskies in front by 5. Stephen Brown had it blocked by Woods. David Brown got the rebound and scored.
Good job by Mo to block the first shot. Then he needs to go back in and be more active and try to bother the other shots also.
Here's Booker. He'll give to Tyrus, who will set it up for the Huskies. .15 on the shot clock. Here's Booker, top of the circle. David Brown leaning on Mo Woods. They go to the floor, and David Brown stole the basketball.
We saw this the other night where the Husky guards picked the ball up on the perimeter and had nobody to come to help them.
Third Husky turnover. Drakeford to Anderson in the lane. Rashad gets the rebound. Didrikson had a look at the three, instead goes to Booker down low, and he can't get the lay-in to fall.
And a nice pass by Scott Dietrichson that time.
Here's Drakeford, top of the circle. Well, David Brown's a bigger body to put on Mo Woods. And those two are doing battle down low right now. Stephen Brown. Bounce pass to Anderson. And a traveling violation.
One of the problems defensively for the Huskies have been they've allowed Oregon State to take the ball on the bounce or on the dribble penetration into the lane, and somebody's having to come over and help, and they're opening up the passing lanes.
Darren Mitchell checks in for Washington, as does Sam Allen. Maurice Woods goes to the bench, and so does Jason Tyrus. And Oregon State has brought Tony Rockland back into the lineup. He replaces Kareem Anderson. Anderson's been bothered by that back muscle, and it hurts to put 15 points a game on the bench. But Jimmy Anderson doesn't have a lot of choice.
Well, and you could tell he wasn't moving real well, and he really wasn't into the flow.
Allen, top of the circle. drives all the way to the glass and commits an offensive foul.
Well, it wasn't a bad play by Sam's part, but when you get in the half court, you get right here, watch, it's going to be a one-footed takeoff. He's going to take off on his left foot there and goes up, taking himself into the defense. If he'd have come and planted and gone straight up off a two-footed stop, I don't think you'd have had a charge.
Tony Rockland, the senior from Troutdale, Oregon, came over to take the charge for Oregon State. A walk-on. How can you tell the walk-ons in Oregon State? Well, they don't have their name on the back of the jersey. That's one way. Nice pass down low. Drakeford turning around, missed the shot. Didrikson with a rebound. Here comes Washington with a three-point advantage. Mitchell. Now Booker. And Mitchell will reset the Huskies with 17 on the shot clock. Amir Rashad. First shot of the day is good.
Running their little two-man game inside, Allen and Rashad.
Andy Woods is going to return for the Huskies at the next dead ball. 8.5 minutes to play, first half. Washington with a 5-point lead over Oregon State. Here's Berry. Now Brown all the way to the glass, and he missed the lay-in.
There again, the Huskies allowing the ball to go all the way as you see the break.
Rashad to Booker, and what's going to be called down low? A pushing foul, and that's going to be called, I believe, on Brent Berry, and that's his second.
Brent Berry kind of looked at Richie Ballesteros like, what are you talking about? But I was going to say at the other end, the Huskies allowed Brown to take the ball from the right wing and dribble the ball all the way on the baseline to the basket. You can't allow that type of penetration.
Andy Woods returns. Jamie Booker goes to the bench for the Huskies. McLean. Now Woods.
That's 2 fouls on Brent Berry.
It is. Here's Rashad in the lane, and a foul on Tony Rockland. So Rashad's going to go to the free throw line.
Here Rashad getting very good position. And what he does so well, he just dips his inside shoulder, quick step to the middle, and then 2-foot power shot. Gets fouled on the wrist.
Trent Inglesby checks in for Oregon State. Another walk-on. He's a senior from Gresham. Here's Rashad at the line where he shoots 67%. Missed the first.
Name me another Pac-10 school that's playing with 2 walk-ons right now.
Well, actually, you may see a few more by the time the day's over. David Brown's a walk-on. He's a senior walk-on from Corvallis. And he got 3 on the floor right now. Time out of the floor with 7:51 to play. Washington has opened up a 6-point lead now over its Northwest rival, Oregon State. Keith Chipman, Dave Harshman back at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle for today's Pac-10 meeting between the Huskies and the Oregon State Beavers, led by this guy, Brent Berry, who has half of Oregon State's points in this game, but he's been scoreless the last 7 minutes.
Well, really hasn't been in the offensive flow. Brent, he's one of those guys that I think the ball has to touch his hands every time down. Not that he has to score, but good things happen when he touches it.
Rockland got clobbered down low, and that's going to be on Sam Allen. His second foul. That'll be the 5th team foul against the Washington Huskies.
Huskies out of that timeout that time, weren't ready for that pass. But this team's in somewhat position, but not ready to play.
But this team's a lot more ready to play today than they were on Thursday night. I don't think there's any question about that. Bob Bender certainly got his team's attention with that early morning workout on Friday.
Well, actually, of course, we did the game on Thursday night, but actually, I thought the first half they did all right. They were in the game.
David Brown with a 3.
They were in the game the first half. In the second half, it was like a completely another ball game.
David Brown shooting 38% from three-point land for Oregon State this year. That's the way it's done.
Well, Inglesby gets beat on the baseline, and there again, at that time, the Beavers don't rotate over and somebody help out, take a charge.
Husky lead back to 5, and another Oregon State turnover.
For anybody who's watching, here's defense. Now, you get beat right there, you yell help, but where's everybody else? Where's David Brown and where's Brent Berry and where's the people on the weak side help that time?
And Oregon State goes back to its bench for some more help. Reese Woods and Jason Tyrus return for Washington. Stephen Brown is back in the game now for Oregon State. 15 on the shot clock for the Huskies. Trying to go to Mo Woods, and he's double teamed. David Brown has it after a nice effort from Stephen Brown.
And there's no pass there. There's no pass. The Huskies right now looking maybe a little too much to get the ball inside.
Stephen Brown gave up what might have been a lay-in to try to pass the ball to Kareem Anderson.
And there again, though, Jason Tyrus gives him a seam to the basket. You got to contain the penetrators.
Drakeford had a momentary thought of a three-point shot. Instead, the Beavers will set things up. $10 on the shot clock now. They tried to force it inside to David Brown. Huskies ahead to Andy Woods, and Washington will maintain possession on its own baseline.
Tough to tell from this angle. Looked like he might have tried to shoot the ball before he had control of it. Nice over-the-top pass right here by Jason Tyrus. Nice look up the floor. And here's Andy Woods. Actually, good job defensively by bullying that time.
Mo Woods with the lay-in off the inbound pass from his brother.
And they've been looking for that on the inbounds pass on the baseline all night.
Biggest Husky lead of the game at 7 points. Now a whistle away from play, and apparently we have a problem with the shot clock. Indeed we do. It's stuck at 34 right now. And now they're going to reset it and try to wind it down a little bit. The shot clock had been stuck at 34, and Ron Richardson, the outside official, noticed that. And he's over chatting right now with the shot clock operator.
Had a little problem with that the other night, too.
Yeah. Jamie Booker will return for Washington, and he will take the place of Andy Woods. And there's a good look at Bob Bender, the first-year head coach of the Huskies.
Shot clock now at 20.
Washington's front court has produced 18 points in this game. Oregon State's just 5, and David Brown has 3 of those. He's the guy with the ball now. Jumper on the way, and he got it.
And that might be the only time in this season thus far that the Huskies' front line has outscored the opposition.
David Brown now with 7 points in the game for Oregon State. Approaching the 5-minute mark in the first half. Washington in front by 5. Booker, and a 5-second closely guarded violation against the Huskies.
And there again, the Beavers caused the Huskies. Here, Mo Woods makes the Cardinals sin by jumping by the ball that time and allows David Brown to step in and shoot the little soft jump shot. He's got a nice touch for a big guy. He weighs 230+ pounds. Huskies not doing a smart job with the basketball. Picked the ball up twice now. That time it didn't throw it away, but called for the 5 seconds. And there's Stephen Brown. I'll tell you, Keith, what I like about him is that he uses his bulk at, looks like a linebacker out there with 211 pounds. He just takes the ball right to you, shoots it in your face. The Huskies have got to do a better job of containing.
Stephen Brown has 6 points now. Oregon State has cut the Husky lead to 3, and another whistle. That foul is going to be called on David Brown. That is his second, and the 7th team foul on Oregon State.
Well, I don't think he was hit that hard. It was a nice, pretty good acting job by Amir Rashad.
I don't know.
There was some contact.
And David Brown's a pretty big boy, and Amir Rashad isn't nearly as big as he is.
Amir's not a little guy either. He's a solid 200 pounds.
Tony Rockland returns for Oregon State as
most coaches tell their players, when there is contact and you want to draw a foul, you do have to be somewhat of a thespian. Actor for players like you, I understand.
Amir Rashad missed the free throw. He's now 1 of 3 from the line tonight.
And that hurts there again. The Huskies get a chance to get the bonus, and they missed the front end. That's a 2 points possible.
Anderson missed the three-point shot. And Washington stepped on the baseline with a rebound, and so it's going to be Oregon State's basketball at the baseline. And Bob Bender doesn't agree with that call at all.
And the problem is that Bob's not wearing the striped shirt.
I think what happened is 2 Huskies simultaneously had the ball, and one of them had a foot out of bounds. Here's Rockland. Now Anderson. A blocking foul, and Oregon State doesn't take advantage of the offensive possession. It's their 8th turnover now.
Jimmy Anderson's not pleased with that. Now here again, no time on the clock. The Huskies go to the line with a chance to make 2 free throws. 1 and 1.
They called the foul on Rockland. That's his second. And there's Jimmy Anderson. Jamie Booker goes to the line where he's shooting 63% this year. Got the front end. And now David Brown will return for Oregon State.
With 2 fouls.
You know, we're talking about Jimmy Anderson. Here's a young man who was, well, he's not so young anymore, but as a young man, grew up in Hoquiam. Was the Junior College Player of the Year for Grays Harbor Junior College here in the state of Washington.
Back then, like I told you, they could. I think they went back and played in the national tournament at Hutchinson, Kansas, because community colleges in Washington still do that. And I remember watching him when he played for the Beavers, and he was tough.
Well, he transferred to Oregon State after that 1 year. Mo Woods may have got a piece of it. Huskies coming the other way now. Jimmy Anderson's basically been at Oregon State ever since. Tyrus missed the 3.
Not a bad shot on Jason's part. Maybe that time could have held it up and tried to look for something in the half court, although their half court offense, the Huskies, has not been anything to go about in the last few minutes.
Jelani Boline penetrating, giving off to Barry, and now Stephen Brown. Can't buy the bucket right now. Oregon State having some trouble. Tyrus in the front court for Washington.
I thought he was throwing that ball to us.
Huskies with a 5-point lead. Mo Woods underneath.
And Jimmy Anderson is very upset about he thought that Mo Woods had pushed off. And he gave Ron Richardson a piece of his mind, and I'm not so sure he's not right there. It was a nice effort on Mo's part to go get the basketball.
Anderson, Barry on the baseline. McClain. Now Mo Woods away from the basket. Tyrus. And what do we have? A technical foul called on the Oregon State bench. Ron Richardson didn't like what he was hearing from Jimmy Anderson and assessed a technical foul.
Michael McLean shooting 2 shots.
And so Michael McLean will go to the free throw line for Washington, where he was a 69% shooter. Got the first.
And Jimmy's still staring at Ron Richardson. Jimmy's trying to get his point across, and from a coaching point of view, I don't blame him, because what he's trying to say is, hey, don't allow the guy, just because he's bigger than our guys inside, to just control everything in there.
And a timeout on the floor with 2:39 to play. Jimmy Anderson not pleased at all. His team has fallen behind Washington by 9. Washington has opened up a 9-point lead now over Oregon State here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion. 2:39 to play first half. Pac-10 women's basketball coming your way on Prime Sports Northwest tomorrow at 3:30. The Washington Husky women's team is in Corvallis to take on Oregon State. You can join us here for all the action on Prime Sports Northwest.
Huskies up to almost 53% shooting from the floor as compared to 39% for the Beavers.
And as we've often mentioned this year, Washington, though they've played 21 games, have not shot above 50% for a game this season. The last 10 minutes is shooting extremely well.
The other thing for the Beavers is at as you can see the foul inside, is the Beavers have only shot one free throw.
Oregon State foul number 43.
Kareem Anderson picks up his second foul. That's the 9th team foul on Oregon State.
Remember one thing the other night we talked about, Keith. I can remember the fact that the Huskies down the stretch after 9, they were in the double bonus, shooting 2 shots from 9-14 on, and the first 10 or 12 shots they only made about 4 or 5 of them. So they need to do a better job on the free throw line when they get those opportunities.
Husky lead is at 10 after Mo Woods sinks the free throw. He had 13 points and 10 rebounds in the Huskies' loss to Oregon State in Corvallis back in January. And he got bold. The Husky lead now 11. Club hasn't had an 11-point lead since their victory over Arizona. 8-0 run for the Huskies. David Brown in the middle.
Little change up, the Huskies going to the trap to the zone that time.
And Trent Cornelius is in the lineup for the Huskies wearing number 45. Jason Tyrus pops a 3. Barely got there. David Brown has the rebound.
The bad thing that time, Michael McLean came down as a point guard and turned his back, and Mo Woods had run right down to the basket and was wide open with a point guard with a 6-footer checking him.
Here's Barry at the top of the circle. .15 in the shot clock for Oregon State. Now less than 10. Anderson, Stephen Brown looks at a 3 and he'll pop a 3 off the front of the rim. Washington with the rebound. And a steal from Oregon State, Jelani Boleen. And it's swatted, but he got fouled. Well, you can almost see that coming.
Washington foul number 24.
Watch the play right here defensively by Boleen. Nice job reading the pass, reacting to it, trying to stutter step and trying to accelerate to the basket. What he did a good job of is he took the ball into Mo Woods that time. Almost if Mo had been 1/2 step more to the baseline, would have drawn the charge. And you see Jimmy Booker come over and swat that thing out after the foul was called.
It's only the first foul on Mo Woods and just the 6th team foul on the Huskies. Jelani Boleen misses the free throw. He's a freshman from Chicago's Whitney Young High School, and he prepped with Charles Barnes there. Charles Barnes was recruited to Illinois State by Bob Bender.
And so they finally get a couple free throws, the Beavers, and now they miss them both, so they're 0 for 3.
Oregon State having all kinds of problems today.
Yeah, he did. Happy feet.
Trent Cornelius.
Happy feet by Trent. You got to keep that one pivot foot down.
Now, one of the instrumental offensive figures on Oregon State's basketball team is Brent Berry, and he's not scored in the last 14 minutes for this club.
I'm really surprised.
Another Beaver turnover. That's number 11. Mo Woods, but it will not count. Offensive foul on Maurice Woods. That's a nice play on the part of the walk-on Tony Rockland to step in and take the charge.
It's a great play, and one thing is, you got to reward both kids. Here you see him coming, but you've got to recognize where the defense is, and the defense is back.
Good call. He had not released the ball
an
before the
excellent call.
charge. Yeah, that's right.
And I like to see kids that give their body up for the ball club.
Woods rejects the shot by Rockland. Boleen with a 3-pointer missed, and now Tyrus has the rebound. 30 seconds to play first half. Huskies looking for the last shot, holding an 11-point lead. Mo Woods now has 2 blocked shots in tonight's game. He's the Huskies' leading shot blocker this year, has 17 this season. Cornelius, McLean, who are they going to get it to? Booker will take the last shot. In and out, and the half comes to an end. The Washington Huskies develop an 11-point halftime lead. And they go on an 8-0 run to end the half. Jimmy Anderson will try to solve this mystery with his team in the dressing room at halftime, and we'll be back with first half highlights and statistics from Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle on Prime Sports Northwest.
You're watching Pac-10 basketball on Prime Sports Northwest.
Halftime at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle. Oregon State trailing Washington by 11 points. And Oregon State won the first meeting this year, David, down in Oregon. And one guy that's missing from this group of leading scorers is David Drakeford. David Brown's the leader with 7.
Yeah, David Brown came off the bench and didn't hit a three-pointer and did a nice job. And Drakeford down there had 14 points in the first half, doesn't have a point this half.
Washington is led by the 8 points of Maurice Woods. Scott Diedrichsen with a couple of three-pointers off the bench, and Andy Woods, making his first start since January of '92, has 5 for the Huskies.
Yeah, the Huskies have done a pretty good job, and like I said earlier, they do a good job, the Huskies do, of finding the shooter when he's in the ball game and getting the ball to him when he's open and can shoot the thing.
Bob Bender's team 20 minutes away from their 3rd victory of the Pac-10 season, their 5th victory of the year. You know, it's interesting to note that Oregon State gave up 100 points against Washington State on Thursday night. They were beaten by the Cougars 101-64. A week prior to that, they scored 100 of their own against Oregon in a double overtime victory. But in all of the years of Oregon State basketball, all of the years leading up to this one, they'd only surrendered 100 points 4 times. This year, they've done that 3 times. The Husky scoring defense, and that's an appropriate statistic to look at, allowed just 19 in the first half, their best effort of the year. Now, and conversely, Oregon State is a team which last year led the Pac-10 in scoring defense. This year, they rank dead last. They've given up 192 points in their last 2 games.
They're decimated. 2 things. They're decimated by injuries.
Without question.
The other thing is they don't have a legitimate inside person. And even when the other Brown, Javon Brown, was playing, yeah, he's 6'9", but he's a slender 6'9", and you know, 6'9", 195 or something like that.
Stephen
so
Brown.
it makes a difference unless, you know, if you don't have somebody who's big and physical inside, you can't go to them. And if you have somebody inside, now that opens up the outside for you.
Stephen Brown started it for Oregon State this half. He has 8 now. Mo Woods, and Berry has the rebound.
Yeah, Stephen Brown 3 for 10 the first half and had some good looks at the basket.
There he is, number 21. Weak side. Nice pass by Boline to Rockland, who has the lay-in, his first 2 points of the game. Oregon State has scored the first 4 points of this half, and they've trimmed that Husky lead from 11 down to 7. And Bob Bender wants to talk things over with his team. Time out on the floor, 19:09 to play, second half, and we're back after this. Oregon State with the first 4 points of the second half.
Here to see looking inside right here. Here's Stephon Brown going into the lane, and nobody really stepping up and challenging the shot that time. The next time down, we're looking, here's the diagonal pass across. No pressure on the ball. Diagonal pass across, and then to the open man because Maurice Woods has to come over and help. But you notice where the Huskies' hands are, Keith. They're all down. You see Bob Benner. He takes the timeout. He puts a whole new team in.
Yeah, he's gone to his bench. Diedrichsen, Rashad, Sam Allen, Trent Cornelius, and Darren Mitchell are on the floor now for Washington. Everybody who started the ball game and started the second half is sitting on the bench. Here's Diedrichsen.
You can't play defense pressure on the ball with your hands down around your ankles.
Well, and the message there is be ready to play, guys. He was fed up enough that he practiced at 6 o'clock on Friday morning after the loss to Oregon State. Allen inside. Cornelius with the tip. Got his own rebound.
Good ball movement that time, and then he attacked the glass even when the ball was missed.
Huskies' first 2 points of the second half. Here's Berry. Jelani Boline, just a freshman. Rockland, the walk-on in the lineup for Oregon State.
The one thing, Keith, when you're so much bigger than somebody inside is to see Boline kicking out there.
Stephen Brown got his own rebound in the lane now, double pumps. And Rashad has the board.
I'm going to say the one thing when you're so much bigger inside, it causes problems. People have to come and help more.
Rashad going baseline on Brown, and he will go to the free throw line. Stephen Brown whistled for his first foul.
Smart play by Amir Rashad, and I'll tell you why. He took the ball to the basket and he got fouled, and as he gets fouled, he's going to take it because he's strong enough. Now, right now, the foul whistle is blown right there, but he continues up, and so he's going to get rewarded with 2 shots.
Amir Rashad is 1 of 3 from the line in today's game. Scored his 500th career point on Thursday night. Missed the front end, now 1 of 4. You know, in the first meeting between these two clubs this year, Amir Rashad didn't even make the team trip. His wife delivered their first child, Yasmin Rashad, the day of the Oregon State game in January. And so he hopped in a car with assistant coach Ray Giacoletti. They drove to the game, and he responded with 10 points that night against Oregon State.
Only 2 for 5 from the line tonight, though.
Darren Mitchell a little slow to get up, and he has sprained his ankle badly. He's going to have a tough time checking Boleen on the offside. Barry with the basketball, 15 on the shot clock. Allen has the rebound, and now official timeout so that Darren Mitchell can leave the game. He badly sprained that right ankle.
Or got hit in the knee.
Got hit in the knee. Well, he had a real slow time getting up. He's still not getting around that well.
Something that time the Beavers were a little content to just pass the ball around the perimeter and shoot the 3-point shot. Didn't even look inside.
And now they'll go back to the shot clock and correct things. 33 on the shot clock now. And Washington will have the basketball, and Oregon State's moving up to apply some full court pressure. 17.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Washington in front by 10, 33-23. Didrikson being harassed by Brent Berry. Here's Rashad, now Mitchell behind that big moving pick of Trent Cornelius. He was just moving all over for him. Mitchell, Sam Allen. Got it. Nice pass from Darren Mitchell.
Well, good patience that time because they finally got Sam isolated one-on-one in the post that time.
It's Washington's biggest lead of the night at 12 points. And Kareem Anderson's going to return at the next dead ball for Jimmy Anderson's Oregon State Beavers. Now Allen reaches around and commits his 3rd foul.
Here, see the isolation. There's no weak side help from the Beavers that time, and Rockland can only watch. As you see David Brown come into the picture at the end, but see, Beavers should have had somebody. I don't care if I'm a coach if the ball goes around the perimeter, but I certainly don't want to be able to dump into the post that way.
Kareem Anderson is returned for Oregon State. Jason Tyrus in the lineup for the Huskies, and he takes the place of Darren Mitchell. Anderson missed the shot, and a foul. Actually, they're going to say the ball went off of Amir Rashad. It'll be Oregon State's basketball at the baseline.
Boy, after Bob Bender called that timeout, I don't know that the Beavers have scored. They've certainly had tough luck, but everything's from the perimeter again.
Here comes David Hawken into the Washington lineup to replace Sam Allen. This is going to be Hawkins' first action since the Washington State game back in January. David Brown got the turnaround jumper, and he got fouled.
David Brown's done a nice job for the Beavers today. He's strong, and he's got a nice touch.
And he has 9 points. 9 of the Beavers' 25 points. He's their leading scorer in this game. Foul is called on Hawken.
I didn't know that he had that good a touch. I mean, shooting the basketball looks very good shooting it. In fact, when I looked statistically coming in, he was only a 34%, 34.5% shooter, but a 38% shooter from 3-point range.
He's worked awfully hard for Jimmy Anderson and has become a member of this club. Walked on his freshman year.
Oh, local product, Corvallis High School.
And he has 10 points in the game. Iris. Didrikson checked by Berry. A lot of respect for Didrikson if you're putting Brent Berry on him. Here's Hawken. Drives the lane and gets the lay-in.
David Hawken, I've kind of been wondering where David Hawken has been. He hasn't been getting a lot of playing time, and has been quite some time since he played, as a matter of fact. But he's 6'8", and he's a big body, and he can bang for you.
Stephen Brown to Brent Berry with his first 2 points since the 5-minute mark in this game. Berry has 8. Fredrickson pumping a three. Got it.
You think he likes to shoot that three-pointer?
That's his third of the game.
3 for 3.
Berry with a slam dunk. They count the basket and a foul.
See, and Brent Berry is going to go get in David Hawkins' face. Hey, you make a great play. The difference between that play and the one previously is, I think Hawkins, well, he wasn't quite set. It was a good call that time. But here you see it continue. Well, we didn't see the continuation right there. But I will give David Hawkins credit for at least trying to get there and take a charge. Now here's Brent Berry. I'm not a lip reader. I don't know what he's saying.
Well, he got his dad's personality. His dad liked to talk on the floor. And I tell you, Brent Berry had a dunk similar to that in the Oregon State game in Corvallis earlier this year.
Get over Jamie Booker.
Yeah, he had 12 points in that game. He's traditionally had pretty good contests against the Huskies, averaging over 8 points a game against this particular team. Missed the free throw. Stephen Brown, and a whistle, and what are they going to call? They're going to call
offensive
it. They will.
Foul.
An offensive foul on Stephen Brown.
Well, you know, it's good. It's good for the Huskies, the fact that somebody finally stepped up and took a charge on him when he penetrated into the middle that time. I was going to say, if there's one thing about Brent Berry that is a criticism, is the fact that maybe he needs to be a little more vociferous.
A little more emotional. His dunk has brought the Beavers within 10 with 15:28 to play here in the second half. Washington in front of Oregon State by 10, 40-30 here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion. And men's Pac-10 basketball on Prime Sports Northwest coming up at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. The Washington State Cougars will host the Oregon Ducks in Pullman. You can see it right here on Prime Sports Northwest. Washington led by 11 at the half. The lead is now 10. Oregon State has stepped up its energy level. You can see that in the last 5 minutes.
We talked about Brent Berry in the first half, and I made the comment to you during the break, Keith, that I think the one thing that he made lose focus, he made you lose concentration sometimes.
Oregon State shooting considerably better in the second half than in the first, and now Berry has a turnover and a nice pass ahead to Stephen Brown. They got fouled by Tyrus.
That time Brent did a nice job. He's got such long arms that he can spread those things out. But what happened is Deepers is trying to handle the ball in the back court right here. Or excuse me, Tyrus is. And nobody comes to help him. Everybody runs away from him.
Got a steal, and you know who leads the Pac-10 in steals this year? It's Oregon State, averaging 9 per game. Stephen Brown, 5th in the conference with almost 3 steals per game.
It's interesting. OSU leads the league in steals.
And assists, do they not?
And they're 4th in assists.
4th in assists, yeah.
And Washington's 1st in scoring defense in terms of points allowed per game.
Stephen Brown missed both free throws, and Jimmy Anderson is beside himself. McClain back in the lineup for Washington. Joined by Jamie Booker, Rashad, David Hawkins, who has the ball now. He's from Maple Valley, Washington. Booker. Got it. Jamie Booker has 6 tonight, and the Huskies are back in front by 12.
And a big shot right there. Huskies needed to score that time down.
Equaled their biggest lead of the game. Here's Boline backing it on Hawkins, and a traveling call.
Well, it either had to be traveling or offensive foul. Here's Booker, good pump fake, putting the ball on the floor into the seam, going straight up, nice release.
Here's Jamie Booker. Oregon State has now committed 12 turnovers. Huskies have committed 10. Washington coughed it up 27 times in their game at Oregon State this year. Most in one game this season. Hawkins in the lane, got it.
David Hawkins, hard worker, got the ball in the lane.
He has 4, and the Huskies have their biggest lead.
David Hawkins got his left shoe untied too. Tried to get the officials to stop play.
Kareem Anderson driving around Hawken, and a grabbing foul, and Hawken's not going to be around long. He has 3 fouls in 5 minutes of play.
You get 5.
You get 5. But his foul to minute ratio is not very good right now.
Well, what I like is his aggressiveness and taking the ball to the basket.
Sophomore from Maple Valley had a career-high 7 against Montana in the opener this season. Stephen Brown to Brent Berry, and he's being checked by Jamie Booker right now. Rockland top of the lane, and he threw it away. 13th Oregon State turnover.
Well, that's what happens when you do something that you're not capable of doing, putting the ball on the floor when you're not capable of putting the ball on the floor.
David Brown will return for Tony Rockland. There's Brown, who has 10 points to lead all Oregon State scorers today. McLean bringing it up for Washington. Didrikson. 13.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Huskies in front by 14. Hawken turning around, and he got fouled by Brown. Brown just returned, and he has just picked up his 3rd foul of the game.
See what happens, Keith, defensively is Huskies run that weave, and the defense becomes mesmerized by it. Then you get a little breakdown because the guys in the post just stand there and watch them dribble around, and so they get caught behind the offense, as you see right there. Hawken was in the post.
McLean, Didrikson wanted a 3. Berry leaped over him, and Brown intercepted the pass.
Same situation for the Huskies. Scott Didrikson's not known for putting the ball on the floor, and when he did, it caused a turnover.
Kareem Anderson off the back of the rim. Oregon State has the rebound, and they'll reset with a fresh 35. Anderson 0 for 4 in today's game. Berry tried to get it to Brown. Didrikson stolen away, and he got fouled by Stephen Brown. He will go to the free throw line.
Great job defensively by Scott Didrikson and a super hustle effort by Stephen Brown right here.
See, Berry tried to tap it out to David Brown.
Exactly. You see Didrikson stepping in front there. Maybe pounded it a few times more than he needed to, but took the ball strong to the basket. Now he's got a chance to get 2.
Maurice Woods returns for the Huskies. Samir Rashad goes to the bench. David Brown has left the lineup now for Oregon State. Going back to the bench with 3 fouls, and there's Mo Woods. Didrikson to the free throw line where he shoots 69%. And he has 10 in the ball game.
Hasn't missed a shot all day.
He had 10 points against Oregon State in their first meeting this year. Haven't heard much from Jason Tyrus tonight. In fact, nothing at all in terms of dunk production. He had 20 against Oregon Thursday night. There's Didrikson with a rebound. And the Huskies will have a fresh 35 and will reset. Mo Woods in the middle. Got fouled by Berry, no shot. It'll be at the baseline.
Good foul. Mo is going to take the ball up and dunk it.
Brent Berry has 3 fouls. That's the 4th on Oregon State in the second half.
I couldn't tell who was checking Mo at that time, but tried to come across, steal the ball. I think it was Kareem Anderson.
Here's McLean. And he'll go in for the uncontested lay-in.
Nice job by Michael McLean that time. Had some patience.
Husky lead is 17, their biggest of the game. And Jimmy Anderson with a look of disgust and wonderment all at the same time on the Oregon State sideline. Drakeford missed the 3. Here comes McLean once again. Booker, 3-pointer on the way. Didrikson taps it out to McLean, and the Huskies start once again. Sam Allen's going to return for Washington with the next dead ball. David Brown will check in for Oregon State. Here's McLean. And he got fouled by Kareem Anderson. So they're wearing the EK patch on their jerseys again this year. That's to pay tribute to Ernest Killian, who passed away a couple of years ago. He would have been a senior this season.
And he was a great player. He was a great player, and that has a lot to do with maybe the way the program has gone the last couple of years, because they really missed him and they were starting to build things. You know, they were doing very well. They were, as you and I know, the tradition of Oregon State basketball is very strong.
Oregon State has the 6th winningest program in NCAA Division I history. 6th winningest program.
And the Huskies are the 12th. Most people don't know that.
And there are actually 4 teams in the Pac-10 that are among the top 25. There's Jimmy Anderson, who inherited the program from Ralph Miller.
Number 5, Sam Allen. Number 22,
with one of the free throws. The other 2 teams that are among the top 25 are UCLA, which is 13th in NCAA history. There's David Brown from the top of the lane, and Washington State, which is ranked 24th.
David Brown has really done a nice job with him. He really has. You know, he hasn't forced anything. He shot the ball well away. He's tough inside defensively. Goes on the floor for the ball right there.
Here comes Oregon State the other way.
Mo Woods having a tough time this half holding on to the basketball.
And so the Huskies will take over, nursing a 16-point lead. Shouldn't say nursing a 16-point lead. They've built this thing, and it looks as if the Huskies are well on their way to their 5th victory of the year.
Well, if it didn't say 11:03, if it said 03, then I think Bob Bender would feel a lot better, because there's a lot of time left in that clock.
Amir Rashad.
Outside of his range.
That was an air ball. And here's Brent Berry the other way for Oregon State.
Brent Berry has those long strides. He can really eat up ground. I think he'd be a great triple jumper.
David Brown, 2-pointer on the way.
Still had a good look at it.
He's Oregon State's leader today with 12 points in the game. Here's the Husky weave once again. .15 on the shot clock for the Huskies. Allen, top of the lane. 8 now. Going to be a double foul called down low on David Brown and Maurice Woods. The 2 are trying to fight for position.
What's interesting is the out official, I'm not trying to be official, is the side official makes the call, and the baseline official is looking right at the play, doesn't call anything. So, you know, that's tough. They're both fighting for position right there. So, you know, it's either a double foul or it's a non-call, one of the 2.
Mo Woods' 3rd foul of the game. That is David Brown's 4th foul. There's Maurice Woods, count it, and he'll go to the line.
Oh yeah, and Kareem Anderson's complaining, and he pushed him right in the side. One thing that bothers me watching this game, and I've felt this all year, is that the officials, or the way the game is played today, they allow way too much hands and body contact. If you just say, hey, keep your hands off people, you get your hands on them, it's going to be a foul, you eliminate all that garbage.
But the game has evolved quite a bit to the point where across the country they're letting that happen.
But it's still against the rules, so you either throw the rule out and let them cloud or call it.
Kareem Anderson to the bench with 4 fouls and no points. He is the leading scorer for Oregon State. 15.4 points per game, and he's been 0 thus far. And in his defense, he's been playing with a bad back. He did not practice for Oregon State at all this week.
Yeah, he never really got into the flow.
Stephen Brown, that's drilling it from 3-point land. He has 11.
We talked earlier how strong he is for his size. Shoots the ball easy from 3-point range.
McLean to the glass once again. Sam Allen crashing through, and he's going to be called for his 4th foul.
Good hustle play by Sam Allen, but came over the back. Sam has kind of struggled this series against both Oregon and Oregon State. This puts the Beavers in the bonus, just like the Huskies, so it could be a free throw parade from here on out.
David Brown is stepping to the free throw line for Oregon State. There's Kareem Anderson. He cannot believe what's going on, and I think Jimmy Anderson can't believe it either. Interesting point. Kareem was asked why he was named Kareem when he was born back in 1972. He said, you know, his dad was a big basketball fan of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Los Angeles Lakers, thus Kareem, named after that big tall guy from the Southland.
Who's that?
Lou Alcindor.
You know what I appreciated when we took the shot of Kareem on the bench is that Jimmy Anderson's there and he's still coaching him. He's telling him this is what you got to do and this is what you can't do.
David Brown got the front end. He has 13 points, and that establishes a new career high for the senior walk-on. He had 12 against Oklahoma earlier this season. Got both ends.
I think the Beavers will be back next year if they get people back who are not healthy this year and get some other blood in here to help them out. I think they're going to be all right.
There's some conjecture about their head coaching situation, though. Dutch Baumann gave a tentative vote of confidence to head coach Jimmy Anderson at a booster function in Portland earlier this year.
I think Jimmy's got one more year on his contract.
He does.
And I would hope that they would honor that and let him play it out to see what happens next year.
Well, certainly given the number of injuries and setbacks this club has had in terms of personnel.
Of course, that happened a few years ago at Oregon, and it's a little different scenario.
Rashad forced the shot.
Husky ball.
Stephen Brown walked out of bounds with the rebound.
Yeah, Rashad a little out of control there. They had to get the shot up, though. Let me see Jimmy.
And again, he's the guy who, with Ralph Miller, was very responsible for tipped away by Barry. The Huskies maintained possession.
Husky ball.
Brought the likes of Radford and Bloom and Sidney. We talked about that earlier. Gary
A.C.
Payton,
Green, Steve Johnson.
Lester Connor. I mean, the names of Oregon State history are pretty impressive. There's David Hawken back in the game with 4 points.
When you've been involved with a team or a school as long as Jimmy Anderson has, I think you deserve an opportunity to play out the spring.
Mo Woods and now McLean. As we approach the 8.5-minute mark to play in the game. Washington with a 14-point lead. Booker looked at the three, drove and lost control of the ball. And they're going to call the foul on whom?
Jimmy Booker, a little out of control that time.
23, Jamie Booker, his third.
Had the ball knocked loose and then went and grabbed it.
That's Booker's third foul. And as you predicted, it's turned into a parade to the free throw line. Something that Bob Bender really doesn't want to see because his team is not shooting well from the line.
Well, neither team's going to set anything on fire. I think the Beavers the other night over in Poland were 14 for 28, which in my book, and I'm not a mathematician, I know that's 50%.
Very good, and that's just a little below what they're shooting for the season. They're shooting 62% from the line this year. That's 9th in the conference. Huskies, 8th best free throw shooting team in the league at 64%. Brown missed the front end of the one-on-one opportunity. That's his first miss from the line tonight.
When you get those bonus opportunities, you have to score when the clock is not running, especially when you're trailing. Brent Berry doing a heck of a job on Scott Dietrichson, overplaying it quicker, being able to help.
Tony Rockland thought he got all ball, but he was called for a foul. It'll be Rockland's third, and so Amir Rashad will go to the free throw line.
Rockland, knowing he's not as quick, see backing off there. One thing I know about, boy, he got all ball. Well, see, the hard thing is the plays made by the outer official who can't really see the play that time. I'm not trying to criticize officials, but he really couldn't see the play. He just saw the ball being knocked out of the hand and the hand coming down.
Boy, Amir Rashad has had trouble tonight from the free throw line. He's now 2 of 6.
You know, when I talk to young players, Keith, the thing that I tell them about them, I says, this is the easiest way to score points other than the lane. You get fouled, that's why they call it a free throw. There isn't anybody checking you, so practice it.
Brent Berry and now David Brown. Here's Stephen Brown. A lob to Berry. Missed it, but Brown got the rebound and was tangled up with David Hawken. And now David Brown pushes Hawken away. Hawken with 4 fouls.
It was a nice pass by, I think it was Stephen Brown to Brent Berry, because all he did was read the defense, and the defense turned his head and threw the diagonal pass over him. Unfortunately, he couldn't complete the play. Brent couldn't. Here it is, right? See the hands down by Scott Dietrichson? Didn't complete. There's David Brown over the top to get the offensive rebound, and then the foul call on Hockey.
And then for that little push, David Brown was called for a technical foul as well.
Oregon State on number 34, David Brown.
And the thing is, they're both going for the ball. Here again, though, the point I want to make defensively is to start out with, you have to have pressure on the basketball. Even though you're playing a step to step and a half off, your hands cannot be down below your waist. You can either defend people with your hands above your waist.
That's 5 personal fouls on David Brown, but he should be allowed to shoot the free throws because the foul that was committed to put him on the line was committed before the technical.
That's true.
So in terms of chronology, he should be able to go to the free throw line, shoot the free throw, and then they'll move to the other end to assess the technical foul shots.
See, and you're right, and Richie Ballesteros.
But now Richie Ballesteros is saying he's fouled out so he has to leave, but technically he should be able to shoot that free throw.
We'll try to get a little clarification here.
So they're now in the process of selecting another shooter for the free throw since Brown has fouled out.
Anderson will shoot for David Brown.
And so Jimmy Anderson has his most productive offensive player leave the game right now. Brown had 14 points in the contest. But because he's fouled out, he can't go to the line, so Kareem Anderson will take the free throws instead. And he missed the front end of the opportunity, so back to the other end they go. Look at the foul shooting. 3 of 11 for Oregon State. Washington not much better at 12 of 19. And now Didrikson will go to the free throw line.
The explanation that I was given was that even though he had been fouled previously to him being called for the technical, once he's disqualified, he must lose the ball game.
Okay.
I don't have a rule book, so I don't, Oh, good.
Now you do.
Gee,
Start reading. Didrikson shooting the free throws and got the first.
The explanation was that he created his own exit from the ball game, if you will.
We have a timeout on the floor.
So timeout on the floor now with 7:46 to play here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion, Washington with a 15-point lead over Oregon State. Washington Huskies with a 15-point lead over the Oregon State Beavers here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion this afternoon. And yes, spring training is upon us, so why not watch some baseball here on Prime Sports Northwest? Carlton and McGraw, remember those names from the 1980 Phillies? Tune into Prime Sports Northwest Monday at 4 for baseball's greatest games. Game 6 of the 1980 World Series, the Phillies and the Kansas City Royals. There's David Hawken, who's playing with 4 fouls in 6 minutes, and he has 4 points to go with it.
Well, when you haven't played a lot, and David plays with reckless abandon, I was just looking at the line. David Brown fouls out 5 for 8 from the floor, 4 rebounds, 14 points, 4 steals for the Beavers today.
7.5 minutes to play now here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion. Here's Tyrus. Amir Rashad. Rashad with 6 points tonight. And that's a Huskies' biggest lead at 17. Brent Berry being checked by Rashad. Now Kareem Anderson shoots the 3 offline. Hawken with the rebound. Here's Didrikson. Hawken. Tyrus. McLean driving on Drakeford. Rockland has the rebound for Oregon State. Air ball from Rockland.
I look at Jimmy Anderson, he's kind of like, what in the heck is he doing?
Huskies trying to burn that clock up now. Here's Tyrus. And Anderson with the rebound.
Jason Tyrus, I think that makes him 0 for 4 for the game. But he's had 5 assists.
Here's Rockland. Got a look at the three. Drakeford for three. And he is now 0 for 5 from three-point land. This after playing so well at Oregon State. Hawkins stole it away. McLean. Now Didrikson for three. Got it. It all started with the effort from David Hawkins.
I think Scott Didrikson is 4 for 4 from the floor. I think the only shot he's missed is the free throws.
And all 4 of them have been from three-point land. Didrikson has 13 tonight. Stephen Brown in a lane, and I think David Hawkins done. 5 fouls in about 7 minutes of play.
Collective foul number 44, David Hawkins. That's his 5th personal foul.
So Hawkins fouls out with 5 rebounds in the game and gets a nice ovation from Husky fans.
Well, David Hawkins, I used to watch him play with him in Tacoma High School, and he plays that way all the time. He's got that kind of effort. He's gotten a lot bigger physically since he came into college. And maybe what Bob Anderson here, maybe I can get a few minutes from the guy. See, I guess I'm one of those coaches, Keith, that when you got a guy who's 6'8" and whatever we list David on the roster at 214 pounds, I'm going to use those fouls if I have to inside.
Well, he was only able to use them for about, what, 7 minutes, I think, today?
But it was a productive 7 minutes.
Productive 7 minutes. Here's Stephen Brown.
Up to that point, the Beavers were 3 for 11 from the free throw line.
And that's Stephen Brown's first make from the line today. He's 1 of 4. He has 12 points. Now 13. Darren Mitchell returns for the Huskies. Trent Cornelius in the lineup as well. And ball's batted away by Drakeford. 2-on-1 break. And he'll go all the way to the glass himself.
This is something that I think that the Huskies have got to be concerned with because they're not real good at maybe at handling pressure full court.
The lead was 20 a moment ago, and now it's 16. Oregon State applying pressure. 5 minutes to play.
Right now, as Jamie Booker gets away with a walk, right now the Huskies don't have what I would call a real good ball handler in the ball game.
Tyrus and McLean both on the bench. Here's Cornelius. Got it knocked away, and here's Drakeford. Cornelius swatted it down. Rockland, who wants it? Everybody's hustling all over the place. And a traveling violation. They're going to give the ball to Washington.
Well, I don't know how that could be Washington's ball. Here
Now they're going
Rockland
to
knocks
correct it
loose.
to Oregon State now.
And there it's knocked loose again. And here again, here's Rockland. Moves it there, and there's Booker, and he catches it. He's diving forward. Got to be Oregon State's ball.
So timeout on the floor now with 4:42 to play in the contest. And Oregon State was down by 20 just moments ago, and now they trail by 16. Now the Arizona on Thursday. And so they've got their hands full. Washington, meanwhile, is going to head across the Cascades to take on the Washington State Cougars in Pullman. This program is authorized under television rights granted by the University of Washington, and any publication, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Prime Sports Northwest is prohibited.
Remember we talked at the top of the show, Keith, about one of the things that the Huskies have to do is to find a way to win down the stretch, particularly whether it means free throws or hitting your shots from the outside or whatever it is. And it'll be interesting now. 4:42 to go. They got a 16-point lead. Oregon State's caused a couple turnovers against pressure. See who Bob comes back in with. It looks like Michael McLean's coming back in the ball game, which I think is a good move because they need a ball handler in the game.
The last Washington home victory over Oregon State was in February of 1990. So the Huskies are trying to correct some history today. Washington shooting an even 50% from the field here in the second half. Stephen Brown shot blocked by Mo Woods, his third block of the day. have a look one more time.
Here's the penetration. Here's Mo Woods. Boy, he just smacks that thing out of there. Both hands.
Brown inbounds to Anderson. He'll shoot the three. Missed it. And here's Maurice Woods with a board.
And I think that's his 10th board of the game.
To go with 11 points.
You know, Jason Tyrus hasn't scored today, as we said, but he does have 7 assists.
Huskies burning up clock. Trent Cornelius had it slapped away by Tony Rockland, and here comes the Oregon State Beavers.
Beavers continue to struggle. I think that's their 18th turnover. Huskies with 16.
Swatted away, and Drakeford has control with a fresh 35 for Oregon State. Here's Anderson. Stephen Brown had it partially blocked by McLean, and here come the Huskies.
Trent Cornelius doing a good job on the boards. He's one of the better, more improved Huskies this year.
Didrikson. Stephen Brown reaching around to try to pry the ball loose. They finally do, and Didrikson throws it off of Boleen. And it'll be Washington's basketball with 17 on the shot clock.
Well, the Beavers really struggling from the field, shooting about 37%. 2 for 13 for three-point range.
Brent Berry returns for Oregon State as Kareem Anderson takes a seat on the bench. Rather ineffective minutes for him today. Still without a point in today's game. Here's McLean working against Boleen. Now Didrikson for three, and that's his first miss today. Woods with a rebound.
It is his first miss, and Tony Rockland looks at Ron Richardson and says, hey, wasn't he pushing me? Interesting looking at statistics here. Boleen 0 for 2, Kareem Anderson 0 for 5, David Drakeford 1 for 6, Stephen Brown 5 for 15, 5 for 16.
Rough game today, rough game for Oregon State offensively. A blocking foul is called against Oregon State, and that's against Tony Rockland, his 4th.
Here's Mo Woods, Tony Rockland trying to cut him off the boards. The ball comes out a little long. Yeah, that wasn't a bad. There wasn't a push off there. The ball just came out over the top. Tough for Tony Rockland to cut a guy Maurice Woods' size out.
Maurice Woods with 13 points to go with a
2 shots.
nice 10 rebounds for today's game. Actually 11 now. And there's Amir Rashad with a free throw for his 7th point of the game.
And I'm going to look, since the Arizona State game, Maurice Woods has 11, 10, 7, 8, and 14 boards, and then 10 today to go with us, with that string.
Huskies with another rebound, and Washington will have a fresh 35 to try to burn. Holding a 19-point lead, and they turn it over. Drakeford wants the three. He hasn't been able to find the range today.
Had a good look at it.
McLean ahead to Didrikson. He's been successful from three-point land, 4 of 5 today. Mo Woods brings it back out front, says, let's reset it, guys, and take some time off the clock.
Yeah, the biggest thing you want to do if you're the Huskies, you don't want to hold the ball and get fouled. You want to move the ball, keep the clock moving.
Tyrus in the corner. Mo Woods, and it's going to roll out. Rockland commits his 5th foul, and he becomes the 2nd Oregon State player to foul out in today's game.
The one thing, if I'm Jimmy Anderson, might be the fact that, hey, we've got Stephen Brown, we've got Brent Berry. Let them shoot those 3-pointers. Get them the ball. You know, the only way we're going to have any chance to get back is to make it respectable and hit a couple threes.
Brandon Peterson checks in to replace Rockland. He's a redshirt freshman from Monterey, California. Stands 6 feet 9 inches tall. And Mo Woods goes to the line with 2 shots. He's 3 for 3 from the line today. He rarely misses as he did there. Shooting 74% from the line. The Huskies' best free throw shooter, also their most accurate field goal shooter at 52%. Mo Woods is ranked 9th in the conference this week as a field goal shooter. The Husky lead now back to 20. Brown driving, had it knocked away by McLean and out of bounds. And now the Huskies are going to their bench. Here comes Andy Roberson and Pete Adams. Pete Adams has not played much this year, has 1 minute of action against Washington State. He'll check in for Didrikson. And it's nice to see the Huskies go to their bench. Young man from Sumner who played community college ball at Tacoma CC and walked on for Lynn Nance a year ago.
Pete Adams is what I call a program player. He's there in practice every day, works hard. It's nice to see him get rewarded with some playing time.
He got his name in the box score after committing the foul. Stephen Brown to the free throw line.
Brown on the line, 2 shots.
Stephen Brown with 14 points now.
Huskies need to get Pete Adams a basket. Need to get him a basket in the last 2 minutes here.
Jimmy Anderson saying the same thing about his club. His team needs a lot of baskets. The Beavers are going to fall to 2-10 in conference play, 6 and 15 overall. The Huskies will improve to 5-17, 3-10 in conference play. There's Adams, missed it, bouncing around. It looked like Mitchell may have gotten a finger or two on the carry him off the board. Now here's Boleen. He missed it, and it's off the hands of Peterson out of bounds. Washington with a basketball, 1:31 to play. Is this what they call garbage time?
I think
Huskies haven't had much garbage time this year.
Why is it you're asking me that?
You're the coach, you know.
I thought you were making some reference to my ball playing days. That I might
basketball?
That I would be familiar with this.
Mitchell in the lane. Woods tipping it around, and the rebound by Boleen, but Adams reached around and committed the foul.
Watching foul number 12, Peter Adams.
It's nice to see Adams get a chance to play this year. He's been going at it in practice all season long. Had 1 minute of action against Washington State. Didn't play a lot last year either under Lynn Nance. He's a junior.
Boleen in the line, 2 shots.
Nice young man.
Jelani Boleen will go to the line, and he got the front end. Boleen's first point of the game. Andy Woods returns, and his brother Maurice will get a nice round of applause, finishing with 14 points for the Huskies today. Another fine outing. 13 rebounds to go with that for Mo Woods today.
And Brent Berry looks over here and rolls his eyes like, this, not another one.
Boleen with 2 points. Stephen Brown, the leading scorer for Oregon State in today's game. Woods and Didrikson with 14 apiece for the Huskies.
We have 1 minute remaining in the game. 1 minute.
Washington in front by 16. Andy Roberson. Pete Adams will shoot. Off the back of the rim. McLean bringing it back out front. Mitchell on the weak side. And he didn't have anybody to pass to. Oregon State with the basketball now. Drakeford from way out there in three-point land. He'll get another opportunity. Berry got the lay-in. 12 points for Brent Berry today. Foul in the backcourt on Drakeford. David Drakeford's first foul today. Drakeford was born in Tacoma. Played his prep basketball at Mater Dei with a couple of guys from Arizona who are having pretty good years. Reggie Geary, a guy named Rigdon, who's had a pretty good season.
Mater Dei, excellent high school basketball program. Always in the playoffs. Won the CIF numerous times.
Darren Mitchell with the free throw off the glass. Usually have to call that in the game, of course.
That's true.
His
put
first
an
point
asterisk
today.
by that in the book.
Huskies in front by 15. Oregon State's lowest point production of the season. Boleen with the bucket. He has 4. Woods will shoot. And Washington will earn its third conference victory of the year. Bob Bender and the Washington Huskies defeat Jimmy Anderson and the Oregon State Beavers here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion this afternoon. Washington improves to 5-17, and the Beavers fall to 6-15 in 1994. And there's a big reason why the Huskies won. Mo Woods. Now Jimmy Anderson and his troops will get set to take on the Arizona Wildcats. And we'll come back and recap today's game for you following this timeout on Prime Sports Northwest.